Hi, I'm Caitlin. I'm the Artistic Director of the Bristol Improv Theatre. We are the first dedicated space to improvisation in the UK. We might be just 3 years old, but in that time we've not only become a home for improvisation in the city, but also a platform for some of the most exciting shows in the UK and beyond. Like all theatres, we closed our doors in March because of the event. But that hasn't stopped us from live streaming shows every weekend. We want to continue to bring a bit of laughter, music, and joy into your homes for as long as possible. A lot of people are working very hard behind the scenes to make this happen, and they deserve to get paid. So if you are able, please donate this evening to the stream. All the money you donate will be split between the Bristol Improv Theatre, Wilby Films, and the artists whose work you're enjoying. We can't wait to welcome you back at the theatre, where with your support, we will keep the doors open for years to come. Enjoy the show. Hello and welcome. This is your musical. Hi everyone. You are watching our live stream. Welcome. My name is Caitlin Campbell.
I'm Anna. Hi. Oh, Anna Kemp. How are you doing?
And we are your hosts for tonight's This Is Your Musical Pajama Party. For those of you who have never seen our show before, the Pajama Party. Before lockdown, This Is Your Musical is a monthly show where we would make up a musical live on stage at the Bristol Improv Theatre. Since lockdown, we have come online and are doing a monthly show still full of fun songs and chat for you. And tonight's show is a celebration of all things musical and performing arts.
Yeah, no, exactly. So we've got loads of suggestions from both the chat, but also from people who message us during the week about their fun experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. So keep them going, keep posting the chat. Any experiences you've had either watching a theatre production or being in a theatre production, or any sort of improv stuff as well.
Yeah, right? We'll have songs that we have made over the last month from your suggestions that you've given us online. We've also got some clips of old shows to show you. We'll be checking in with stories from the cast of This Is Your Musical and from you, our lovely audience, about performing in musicals. Because one of the things that I love so much about performing in This Is Your Musical and just generally being a musical theatre lover is that everybody has a kind of deep-seated feeling about musicals from their childhood, I think. Some people hate them. Most of us sane people absolutely love them, but it's usually rooted in some kind of show that you were in when you were a kid. So if you comment in the chat and tell us about the shows that you were in or wanted to be in, the parts that you went for and got or didn't get, any hilarious stories or sad stories or fun things that you remember from your early musical experiences.
That sounds pretty good. So do you have one then? You said there's something that shaped your life. You said musicals shaped your life, your experience of musical. What's yours?
So I was thinking about this because this was what I wanted to do the stream about, because we try something different every month at the moment. And when I was thinking about what I would talk about, the main thing that came out of me being in musical theatre shows when I was younger is I had really short hair from the age of about 9 to 12, and because there were never enough boys in musical theatre groups. Yeah. I used to get all the boy parts because I was a girl with short hair. So I did look like a boy, when you're prepubescent, and I could sing. So I played Oliver and Fizzy and Gavroche. But it meant as I got older that everybody knew me as the person that played boys. And as I grew up, I used to go for Sandy from Grease and get cast as Eugene. And I would never get the part that I wanted because I'd always get cast as the adjacent prepubescent boy part. But I think as you get older and you learn that you're probably going to be a character actress rather than a leading lady in the grand scheme of things. It was good formative experience for playing character parts. What about you, Anna?
I think that moment where your teacher tells you you're a character actress and you're not a lead actress, we laugh it, but it hurts. It's like, oh my God, she's so amazing. She's such a lead. You'd be so good as like the mother. I'm like, thank you, no, appreciate it, love it, live for it.
Playing a really old woman. That's what we'd like to see, an old woman.
Yeah. I think how about we take you and then it's like dial up to 11, and you up to 11 is like old woman. That's what I'm getting. So I was in every single role I've ever gone for. I've always either gotten the main bad guy or the ugly bad guy sidekick, depending on how good I was singing that day.
To be fair, I feel like those are the best parts, right?
I feel I'm more inclined towards those now because, like, well, I know them. Throw me a minor chord, I can do it. But like, as soon as it's like, here's something sweet, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No, you play great villain.
Oh, I mean, I remember your villain where you were like, oh, what was it? You were like this queen bitch. What was
Evil Sorority, Annabelle.
Yes, honestly,
that is one of the funnest shows I've ever done, to be honest.
It was. I think if you're so evil that your only resolution is to melt into the floor, that's my
I did
top.
Die.
Absolute top. Do you want to go on to our first song?
Let's. So our first song is based on a suggestion. We asked you about what your favourite new hobby in lockdown was. And at Lucy Fennell Theatre on Instagram gave us the suggestion gardening. And this is the song that was created for you from that suggestion. Enjoy.
Well, I don't know about you, but gardening has really boosted my mood.
Oh, I quite agree.
Hilary, I never feel better than when I'm wearing some gloves and I've got my hands in manure.
The great outdoors truly is marvellous. And it's even more marvellous when you're paying someone to do the hard work for you, like me.
Well, Hilary, as your twin sister and better sister, I can tell you that my garden is also better. I step outside to see a garden right in front of me, and then I think, could it be the perfect remedy? Plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Flowers bloom. Just plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Flowers bloom.
I must admit, my garden's a little bit
Steady now.
but since I got these hanging baskets, I feel better for it.
Good for you.
Plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Flowers bloom.
There's nothing quite like it. Fresh air in your lung, while someone else does the hard work with the dung. My border's in order, from hydrangeas to what, kelp? No matter to me, 'cause I pay for the help.
Plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Plant a seed and you will see. Flowers bloom.
As your younger sister,
Oh, I'm going to have to remove the patio. I mean, you speak such wisdom.
I've got
you
people
really
for
do.
that, you know.
Howdy, welcome back. So that was the gardening suggestion song, which you had Beth Carriage in it twice. You had Sam, and Catherine and Ian helping along with the musical accompaniment. So you may have seen Beth twice in that song because she's absolutely phenomenal. And because I bailed, I couldn't do the song. I was like, nope, it's too hard. And Beth not only did it once, but she did it twice. So hats off to all of them. Really good song.
It's very exciting going into a show already knowing that Beth is having an amazing show, which happens frequently in This Is Your Musical. But like I've obviously seen the videos that we made in advance, and Beth's just got a lot in store for you. You should know that.
Just to let you know, you're in for a real treat. We've got some really good content coming up for you guys. We've got like a few other group numbers. We've got a duet coming up. Beth is featuring that duet, and we've got a solo coming up from Sam McLaughlin. Towards the end, so stay tuned for that one. That's gonna be fun.
What's better than one Beth Carriage?
3 Beth Carriages, 2 Beth Carriages,
or 3 Ian Towers.
Yeah, I've had a comment being like, my favourite. There's 3 Ians all in.
3 Ians. Think about how much wise advice 3 Ians could give you.
Oh God.
Cup of tea, one could be giving you some wise advice, the other one could be like handing you a vegan curry. I haven't made any of them play the piano for me, so that's already, a waste.
Ooh, already a dream.
Speaking of Ian Towers, we've got a story from Ian of an early experience of being in a musical.
Really?
We asked him for one and he sent us this. So when I was 16, I was booked to play bass, brackets, my homemade bass guitar, which I'm now kicking myself for not following up on because apparently Ian was making himself a bass guitar at 16 years old. Maybe he'll tell us more in the chat. In the pit orchestra of an amateur dramatic production of Hello Dolly in the Regal Cinema, Wells, Somerset. Nice and specific. I remember being quite shocked at the time when I looked over at the tenor sax player to see him lighting a cigarette during the performance. And then he handed one to me, which was very welcome at the time. You imagine a 16-year-old Ian just sitting have a cigarette in the orchestra pit.
That's true. We've also got one from the chat as well. We've got from Alex Hazari92. So when my school did West Side Story, I filled in for the detective, which is a role I really wanted, for the tech rehearsal as the usual actor wasn't available. Cue the rest of the cast telling me I should be in the role. Ooh.
Imagine if that person's watching right now and they're like, they told you what?
That was my standout role. That was my breakout part.
Yeah. Did you ever... well, we've already bitched about not getting cast as leading ladies and always having to be character actresses, but it's made us into comedians, so what can we say?
Yeah, they say, was it trauma plus time equals comedy?
Oh, yeah. I love West Side Story. I think it's one of my favourite musicals. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't get through it. I could not get through West Side Story. Really?
I started, it was like everyone is insipid. They all look to the sky. They're all like, I'm sad, and I'm like, great. Although
you watched a musical and you were like, I can't watch this. These people have too many emotions.
Like feeling stuff.
Ugh, feelings, gross.
Disgusting. Oh, you're singing now? This makes no sense.
Why are you singing?
I really like this. I watched it because I loved the song, the American song.
I Like to Be in America.
Yeah, this is so embarrassing. I absolutely love that song. I think it's fantastic. One of my favorite songs in musicals. So I watched it explicitly for that, and I got so much just like, I was like, I hate this.
I can't relate. Every single song in West Side Story is perfect. I think it is the best.
Is that
I
your
think it's possibly the best Sondheim. I have a theory that you are welcome to completely shout down and disagree with in the chat.
I will.
Which is that all famous musical theatre impresarios have like 2 things that they're really good at. And Sondheim is an amazing lyricist and amazing storyteller, but I don't think he's a great composer. And I'm just waiting for the hate, but I think that his really great ones are the ones where Bernstein wrote the music for West Side Story, but then like Assassins, which is just full of tunes. He's really drawing musical influences from the time, and it's the same with Sweeney Todd, for example. And then I watched Sunday in the Park with George the other day, and it's like the most Sondheimy Sondheim I have ever heard. And I can't now I couldn't sing you any part from Sunday in the Park with George, apart from the bit that goes boom, boom, Sunday in the Park with George, which happens so many times. And after watching it, I had Sweeney Todd and Into the Woods stuck in my head because there were so many bits that sounded similar, but weren't the same. To back this theory up, Andrew Lloyd Webber, amazing composer, amazing producer, not a lyricist, and not, I believe, a great storyteller.
He's quite basic, to be fair.
Cats. So you partner him with Tim Rice, and you get Jesus Christ Superstar and Evita, the best ones ever written, in my opinion.
But Starlight Express, like Train for the Starlight Express, they're on roller skates.
Why are they that? Oh, here's a great story. In my school, we had this thing called the Performing Arts Festival, where between year 7 and year 9, every form had to come up with a 15-minute excerpt or 15-minute version of a musical. And then there was a day where everybody performed them to each other. And then the top 6, judged by the drama teachers, got to perform to parents one evening. And so it was always huge. In year 8, I wrote our musical based on the story of Molly Malone. Do you remember that folk song? Anyway, there was a year where this year 7 form did Starlight Express, but they weren't allowed to wear roller skates. They just did it without roller skates. And it was so bad. Jesus, it was dreadful.
That's honestly amazing. That brings me so much joy.
I'm having a look at the chat here, and where is it that I spotted a second ago? Hi _ Laura B says, I've always wanted to perform in a musical. My dream role would have been Christine in Phantom. My. I mean, it's a hell of a vocal part.
I mean, it is.
It's not a great show, but it's right.
I don't know. So I love musical theatre. I want to make it so clear I do. And I think the reason why
Great way to start. Hi, I'm Anna Kemp and I love musical theatre, but for the next hour I will be absolutely ripping the shit out of musical theatre.
I mean, it's sort of
everyone.
I want to neg musical theatre, so maybe one day it'll cast me in something because of low self-esteem issues. No, I mean, so my favourite sort of musical, have you seen Repo? It's like a rock opera.
No.
So
love rock.
It's got Anthony Head in it, and it's basically about in a world where
Anthony Head.
I call him Anthony Head. Is he called Anthony Head?
Is that the one from Buffy?
Well, I would know him from BBC Merlin, but yeah, sure.
And that, how much older am I than you? Because fuck.
Buffy.
Okay, I think it might be time for our next song. While that's going on, please feel free to tell us if you could play any part in any musical, irregardless of age, gender, any casting things. Who would you be? I would obviously be Judas in Jesus Christ Superstar because it's the best part in anything. Tell us in the chat who you'd be.
I'd be Stephen Sondheim. So the next song's called Part of One Team, isn't it?
It is. This is one of our best of videos, and it's from a show we did a couple of years ago at the Bristol Improv Theatre. It's called Part of One Team, and it's from an improvised musical that we did that was all about football, 5-a-side football leagues. So please do enjoy.
You know your friend? The lonely boy. Oh, I don't talk. Damien.
Damien, that's it, yeah.
Damien. Let's say Damien.
I saw him wandering the streets in the rain, just looking morose.
Yeah. He was in the team that got the dissolved.
I know you guys fell out. I know you guys fell out. And I know you fell out of this game, you know? And I understand football is life, and football is love, and football will grind you into the dust.
Okay, well, what are you saying that you want to invite Damien onto our team?
I'm
Say, if we want to get up into League 12, and then you two need to put your differences aside. I don't know if I can forgive Damien.
I've invited him here.
What?
He's waiting outside this door.
Dad, how could you drag my past up like this?
He's right outside.
Just a moment of your time. We were young, it was long ago we were kids, and now you're making me go it through line by line.
It's thunderstorm outside.
How could you finally see that it was right to change? When have I ever I could really strange? Not done with that, Dad, how could you, how could you, Dad? You're part of one team. Part of one team, you and me. Part of one team, so don't leave me. Okay. Part of one team. Part of one team. So remember that. Okay? Damien.
Hey. Do you mind if I step inside? It's pretty wet out there.
Yeah.
Hey, your dad told me to come over. Hey. Yep.
Listen, Damien, so we need a player for this Saturday's match that's going to put us in League 13, maybe? And do you want to be on the team? Part of one team.
Me?
Yeah.
But last time you spoke to me, you said, well, I wouldn't want to say it from your dad.
Part of one team.
Right, mate.
Hey, man.
Get down that end, okay?
Okay.
Now, here's what I'm thinking. 2 forwards rushing.
Yeah. It looks a little dangerous, Damien.
No, I've got this, mate. I've got this, right? Now, when I've got it on the back heel, I've just got to rush it back.
Just
Okay, but I'm going to do it really. I'm going to do it a lot quicker than that.
Okay.
Okay, can you handle this?
Okay, yeah. Okay,
It's
do
time
it.
to get out there. Get ready for you. Get out there and play some football.
I need to practice it. Try.
All right.
Do it.
Okay, so
Really do it.
do that. And then I'm going to rush it. Rush it. You said you'd be ready. Why did you just
You've broken my ankle.
Everyone's waiting. We're taking you out of the league. And this is a year's ban for you.
Damien, I want to see
I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm sorry.
Because I broke my ankle, like I can never play in left like I wanted to. I could only play in goal. I always have to watch the game from the back.
Back then, I was wild, man. I was crazy. Coach was always telling me not to do all the fancy footwork, but I just wanted to show off and show people that, you know, I might be playing 5-a-side, just to mess about and that, but I don't know. Maybe I could have been more or something. It's stupid.
Okay, well, we're teammates now. Let's go out there and win a game.
You mean it?
Yeah. Part of one team.
Welcome back.
Hey! How is everyone? That was fun. I've heard that apparently part of one team is a bit of an earworm. I agree. I do agree.
Oh my god, I was for a week after that show.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Some boy racers coming around my street. You may hear some revving engines a bit, just as a fun FYI. So I'm about to get onto that. So we've got. If I could read my handwriting, I've got Andy Yo, Andrew Dennis, Luke Cox on tech, Ian Tower on the piano, ambulance noise in the background, and Johnny Lavelle on percussion. Really fun. I think I also saw a cameo from you, Caitlin, coming in.
Yes.
To do your famous walk-ons.
I love a good walk-on. The chat is lighting up. People find it hilarious that you don't know how to say head.
Yeah, irregardless, Caitlin. Irregardless.
Oh, wow. And there's also quite a lot of chat of playing narrators. So Ros B says that she has always thought that playing the narrator in Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat would be fun. Ooh. I think that is because it is the only female part in that entire musical that is not Potiphar's sexy wife who does sexy things.
Stuff.
No reason. And Hassari92 says that the narrator in Rocky Horror always seems to have the most fun with the audience.
Oh yeah. From probably the ages of 0 to the ages of 11, my formative years in theatre I was the narrator because I could read the best. That was my entire thing. And it'd always be at Christmas time, and every single time without fail I would get sick. I was a very sickly child, and in my youth didn't get any better. Anyway, I would always rock up with a stinking cold, and I'd be standing in front of everyone, always in the same white dress. And I'd always be like, and so he loved him. And it was just absolutely pathetic. And it's everyone feels so sorry for me. And at the end, they're all like, well done. And I'm dying and I can't remember anything. And it's just an entire mess. Never allowed to be in the show, but always on the sidelines. It was fun.
Always the narrator. I have some pretty vivid memories of playing narrators, and also I just had a weird run of singing one verse of something unaccompanied and then getting out of there. There was this show that we did in primary school, which was Christmas Through the Ages, and our year group was doing a scene in a song. There is an actual police chase happening on your
okay. I'm so sorry, I got distracted. So occasionally, every Friday night, this happens quite routinely. There's usually a police chase. I think it might be the same car. Oh my god, the guy's gone the other way.
Just keep us updated with what's going on.
Sorry, oh my god, there's 5 police cars. Oh, this is so exciting. Sorry. So yeah, so you remember being a narrator?
Oh, good, yeah, and yeah, I had this run where I would just go on, sing a verse unaccompanied, and then get out of there. It became just a thing that I could do because I had quite good pitch and could sing. And so rather than get everyone to do a song or have someone learn the music on piano or something, I'd just get thrown on, sing a verse of O Little Town of Bethlehem, and get out of there. Not get to play a part or anything, but there was one where I played Tiny Tim because of the
short hair
haircut thing. Man, that was a good time.
I played Shirley Temple once.
I can see that. In fact, I can still see that.
Thanks, Caitlin. Was that a thinly veiled height joke? I do love it when you do those.
I can't get over them. I think height jokes are really funny. Life's a Pitch podcast says that they spent the last year and a half, that is commitment, learning the rap from Cover Is Not the Book for Mary Poppins Returns. Not theatre exactly, but I think Jack from that film would be a lot of fun. What I like about the Mary Poppins Returns, which I went to see in the cinema with my friend Karina, who was then seeing it for the 3rd time.
Wow.
Is that they stayed with the tradition of getting an American doing a bad Cockney accent for one of the main.
Kinky Boots does that as well, right? Kinky Boots does that.
I have not seen Kinky Boots, but I feel like British musical underdog LGBT vibes. I would enjoy it.
It's definite vibes. It's really fun. I've got a really fun one here from Maeve. It says, I don't know why this one springs to mind, but I was in a school play / musical called Wacky Soap, and it was all about soap, which was a metaphor for drugs, where people would say yes to soap and it would make them really happy and then wash themselves away. And I played a soap seller who was essentially a drug dealer. It was truly the bad and the ugly. Do you know what I love about GCSE high school plays are the metaphors. I live for GCSE metaphors. It brings me such joy.
I heard this amazing story once about a high school production. So I think it was American. I read about it on the internet. So this is not a legit story, but I heard about an American high school production of Rent where they didn't want the kids to have AIDS because it was seen as a too adult theme. You know, it's based on La Boheme, where I think they all have tuberculosis, but the modern version of this story, Rent, everyone has AIDS. And so they had everyone having diabetes. And there's like a real thing in Rent where your pager goes off to tell you that you need to take your medication for HIV. And instead it was their beeper going off telling them to like inject insulin because apparently everyone on this housing estate all had diabetes. It's pretty great, isn't it? It's all gone quiet there. Have they made an arrest?
Nope, there's more. That's so exciting. Sorry.
City centre living.
City centre living, bruh. I love where I live. So my favorite thing metaphor wise in GCSE is, you know, the use of the red ribbon as a metaphor. That must be universal, right? Where it's either a red ribbon to symbolize like abortion or like or there's a moment where like she turns to the audience and it trickles to the floor and she goes, "Forgive me, Father, I've sinned." You're like, great, cool. A star for it happens every single time.
To be fair though, when I was don't know if I brought this up recently, but studied classics at university.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
What grade did you get? What was your?
I got first actually. Thanks for asking. I did actually get first, and do you know what? It's never come up. Anyway, we watched in one of our tragedy lectures, a video of this, I think it was Japanese production of Medea, where there's this whole speech. If you don't know Medea, this is totally off musical theatre territory. But anyway, in Medea, the tragedy, Medea is married to Jason of Jason the Argonauts. She's helped him escape from, she helps him steal the Golden Fleece and escape. And then they get back to Corinth and have 2 kids. And then when they get a bit older, he's like, I think I'm going to remarry. I think I'm going to marry this hot, sexy young princess. Sorry. And she's like, you can't do that. I'm a witch. I killed my brother to save you. I killed my dad. I'll kill you. And he's like, wow. Well, we'll see about that because I'm pretty important here. Everyone loves me. So anyway, so she kills their children.
Oh my God.
And throws in their bodies. It's big. It was one of the tragedies that the Greeks did not like as much because it was really...
Is that the one where like she cut off her tongue and her hands? Or is that...
No, that's Lucretia. Totally different story. Don't worry.
No, God, it's humiliating.
Yeah, but there's this really famous monologue where she decides whether she's going to do it, and she goes back and forth about doing it because she loves them. She doesn't want to kill them. She only has a domestic sphere on which to enact her, you know, anger and hatred and, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this Japanese production completely took out that monologue, and it was a physical theatre production, and just had Medea pulling this like really long piece of red silk out of her mouth with this like really horrible tortured labored, while all of the chorus were going around her going like, don't do it, don't, and she's just pulling. It was incredible.
So it was good.
It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably what all these GCSE drama pieces are trying to recreate. Oh no, maybe. Is it time for another song?
You know what? I think it might diddly be.
Might have to be.
Yeah.
This next song is taken from a suggestion. We asked you for a location where a musical could be set, and @Ed apparently on Twitter gave us the suggestion of a space station. So this song is set on the International Space Station. Enjoy.
The date is the 20th of January, 2050.
We are reporting from the International Space Station, orbiting Earth at 250 miles per hour.
Oh, that's 402.336 kilometers an hour to you euros.
Mum, it's me, it's Emily. I'm here, I made it. I'm on the space. Sorry, I won't go on the intercom.
Above the world we float so high, like a shooting star streaking across the sky. And down below, all the people and the nations have come together for our explorations. There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. Embrace the infinite. There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. Embrace the infinite.
Every day in space, we find secrets yet untold. The research we do here is going to change the world. The silence of the void is soothing, it is calm. I do experiments with a giant robotic arm. There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. Embrace the infinite.
5 straight days, clam chowder, freeze-dried in little pouches. And yes, the Russians in Part B can occasionally be grouches. But you don't have to be a Sandra Bullock or George Clooney to know that we're changing the world in zero gravity.
There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. Embrace the infinite.
I can't believe I made it here. Dreaming about it as a little girl for many years.
There are no limits when we work together.
There are no limits when we work together. There are no limits when we work together. Embrace the infinite.
There are no limits when we work
There are
together.
no limits.
There are no limits when we work together.
No limits.
When we work
I love
together. Embrace the infinite.
This is so cool. Ah!
Hello, hi. That was the Phenomenal Space Station song, and that had Caitlin Campbell, Beth Kerridge, Will Gorn, Sam Hall, Catherine and Ian, and they did that all themselves. There was a smoke machine in that one, wasn't there, Caitlin?
Smoke machine's apparently getting a lot of love in the chat. After Catherine recorded that, she told us that her neighbour came round and checked on her because they thought her house was on fire because a great deal was escaping through the windows. So never say that Catherine doesn't suffer for her art.
From her art.
And again, Beth just knocking it out of the park. I don't think we've explained, we should have done exactly how we make those videos, and we did discuss at length that we would explain this, how we do. Do you remember we said yesterday, and you were like, we must make sure that we.
I was like, yeah, because it's so hard, and then we're just like,
hard to explain what. Okay, so the way that we do videos, we take the suggestion, it gets sent to Ian makes the music and orchestrates it, and then sends it to the first person, and then the rest of the recording is done like a game of telephone. So no one goes away and writes all the lyrics, everyone just adds their bit, and then you get the recording with 3 people on it and add your bit. So you don't know what you're going to get until you get it, and you don't know what someone's going to add until you've seen the whole thing. So when I got that last song, Will had put his verse on in the chorus, and so I added a verse and jumped on the chorus. And then when I watched it a few days later and everyone added their bits, just Beth cracking me up the whole way through with her
being an absolute gem. Yeah, because I think we want to keep that sort of element of like improv and fun from it, right? That sort of feeling of changeability. Because improv.
You can't improvise together anymore in the same way with musicals, but you can keep this sense of fun, of like leaving opportunities for people to add stuff and adding your own things and being mischievous with it. And that's what I like about these songs that we are making. That's
something I've always actually wanted to ask you, if I'm honest, is like why, because you've got a theatre background, right? You're like, you know, into the theatre stuff. Yeah, I fell into improv, and then I was like, oh, this is sick. Yeah. I can control how much stage time I have, and it's going to be all of it. Why did you get into improv?
Wow, I didn't know you were going to ask me that. Actually,
I was really long. I was really like winding it up there, like.
So I wouldn't say that I had a theatre background. Like I did drama A level, and was in shows and musicals and stuff a lot when I was growing up, and Amdrams. And when I came to university, I had wanted to carry on doing musical theatre and shows, but I found at Freshers' Fair all of the drama societies were really intimidating and cliquey and seemed pretty arsey and not much fun. Yeah, and was just like, well, this doesn't seem like a laugh. And I'd always wanted to do comedy because my A-level drama teacher had told me that I was not a comedic actress and I shouldn't do comedy. So thanks, Mrs. Look at me now. And I met the people doing Improv Society at the Freshers' Fair, and they were just like really fun, really chilled out, and said, oh, you know, we do a show every 2 weeks, so you can just jump on stage as soon as you feel like you're ready. It's a training ground, it's a free show. So, you know, and I wanted to perform, and what the musical theatre societies and everyone else was saying was that you know, if you audition a lot, then maybe in your second year you'll get chorus. And you could just tell that it wasn't going to be a laugh.
Not the one.
So I started going to improv, and then came back to scripted acting and musicals in that kind of roundabout way a few years later.
That's fair. I did, you know, those drop-in workshops, like sort of like try-out workshops.
Yeah.
I did a drop-in for the musical theatre, like society one, and this lady tapped me on the shoulder and was like, have you considered joining the Improv Society? And I was like, kill, bye. And then I did.
Wow.
And I was like, fair enough, mate, you were right, but I don't think you meant it in a nice way. But I've got like, because I did ask for the good, the bad, the ugly for theatre experience. I got one from Nia Evans that says, I played the ugly/wicked stepmother in Cinderella when I was 9 and had to wear a skirt with these little bells on the bottom. They jangled so loudly that people could hear me coming and started booing before I even stepped on the stage. Oh. I think I wobbled a bit, but waited until the final bows for a full-on cry.
Oh,
they Pavlov dogged her. They were like, let's prime the audience that when they hear you coming, they will hate you. That's traumatic. I don't know how. Yeah, that's absolutely like.
That hurts.
deeply upsetting.
There's like a fun stream there though of things going wrong during musicals. I was telling my my friend Karina the other day, we were swapping stories. When I was like 11, I was in a production of Bugsy Malone and I played Fizzy because of short hair and being able to sing, but I couldn't dance. Fizzy's meant to be able to dance, but I got the part over the dancer because she couldn't sing and he has a solo. And in my scene where I had the solo, all the older girls would come and dance behind me to make it feel slightly more dancey. But in the scene before that, someone had just got custard pied. If you don't know Bugsy Malone, it's like children trying to understand death. Anyway, and you get, they that's too much. But anyway, they put the way we did, put squirty cream on paper plates and put them on people's faces. And in the couple of lines that I had at the beginning of this scene, I had to get my mop and bucket and sweep the stage really quickly to get all of these out of the way. And there was one day where I just did not make the transition in time, started singing my song, and then behind me just heard like a and was like, what was that? One of the girls, I think her name was Daisy, had just put a foot on the plate. You can imagine it's like the slipperiest thing. Like whipped cream on a paper plate and had just gone and straight onto her side and fallen over. I felt very bad about that for quite a long time. Share your stories about things going really, really wrong in productions that you were in, please.
Anytime food's involved on stage, it's always a recipe for disaster. Like, I haven't had a single good memory of food. I've had one really good memory, and that was just when we had Angel Delight served to us. Ooh. Like, that was our food. And it was just like, we did a production of Top Girls for my theatre studies. Yeah. Nice. It was the opening scene, and it was like, we all got to eat Angel, and we had like, it was a full course meal. So for the span of 40 minutes, we all got to eat a full course meal while performing. I was like, this is the best gig I've ever had. I'm not paid for this, but nothing will top this, and nothing has topped it since. I've once directed a play in which we had the ages 8 to the ages of 22 in this play. So, a real great fun mix. Mm-hmm. And there was one kid, I'm not going to mention her by name, I want to, and she was 12, and she would not stop eating yogurt, like throughout, like on the stage, while we were doing rehearsals, backstage. There's one point where she walked onto stage with the yogurt and then realised, wait a second, there is an audience, and then left the yogurt. And it was legitimately torturous.
That's one of the best community theatre stories I've heard in a long time.
Thank you.
A girl who couldn't put down her yogurt. Speaking of food on stage, Sam Hall of This Is Your Musical fame has sent us this story. I was playing saxophone in the pit for a school musical. There was a scene where 2 actors had to fight over a bucket of fried chicken. One night they got a little carried away, the bucket exploded, and I got hit in the back of the head by a KFC fried thigh. It was cold.
Oh, absolutely traumatic.
Yeah. Ooh. I think we better go to another song. So next up we have this song. We asked for a suggestion of your favourite musical, and Theo Worsley suggested via Facebook Rock of Ages. So this is a song that was based on the musical Rock of Ages. Enjoy.
You figured it out. I am impressed. I don't think I've met you before. Your hero,
Elastoman.
Sidekick.
Yes.
Okay. Have you considered maybe taking down a path of crime?
What? No.
I know, on the nose, but I think together you and me, I would treat you right.
I've heard that before.
Hell. With your brains in my power, baby, we can win this fight. If you just dropped your preconceived notions of what is wrong and right. Oh, we don't need anybody else here. We don't need anybody else here. As long as we've got ourselves here, we can rule
We can rule the world. We don't need anybody else here. We don't need anybody else here. As long as we got ourselves here, we can rule the world. Without you, his empire would fall.
It would.
Do you think he'd be loyal to you at all?
He wouldn't. I wouldn't care about him and his elastic powers anymore.
A true equal, 100% right. Together you and I can win this damn fight.
Yeah, we can make it on our own, no matter where we go.
We don't need anybody else here. We don't need anybody else here. As long as we got ourselves here, we can rule the world. We don't need anybody else here. We don't need anybody else here. We don't need anybody else here. We can rule the world.
I'm with you. Let's go take the world.
Yo, welcome back. We gotta do a rock song. I'm so happy. I have been gunning from this for the beginning. I'm so pleased. Thank God. These are vibes. And we were wearing sundresses. Anyway, credits. So we had, that was me. Other than that, you also had Beth Carriage absolutely killing it, as always. Ian Towers and Catherine on the percussion. Sorry. I love rock songs, and it was in the tune of Rock of Ages. So very exciting. So we've got some other stories that are coming up. I'm just super pumped. So you know how we were talking about how you hear the song first and then you perform it. So I had no idea what was coming through. I got it through from Ian, and listening to it, just so your heart goes. You're like, oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
It's so fun, super fun.
I've got to say, like, since we started doing these, the first couple that we did, you'd get a piano track from Ian, and now you get it and you're like, that's a synthesizer. Is that a bass? Oh my God, is that a glockenspiel? Like, he's got so many. These are just the instruments that he has in his house.
He's lent me instruments. Like, it's at this point where he's able to give his instruments to people.
I was going to say, you've got a very good background going on there with all of your. I mean, I have an exciting backdrop of embroidery hoops and City Farm posters.
They're always like, different strokes, different folks.
I have a story that I am dying to tell you.
I don't want to hear it.
To segue for, but I just think it's so good. So I went to see an amateur production, like one of those like very, very, amateur productions that are just slightly too good, and you're like, this is one of those amateur companies where there's enough good people that the shit people have left, because they feel bad. And they're out there. There are also choirs that work that way. It's an interesting phenomenon. Anyway, it was a production of Half Sixpence, and halfway through, someone's mic was on, and you just heard over this scene, we'll go, where the fuck is my ukulele? And then it cut off as the sound person was obviously like, oh shit, and turned it down. But they were obviously saying, where's my ukulele? And then everyone in the audience was obviously like, who's going to be playing the ukulele? Like, when are we going to see this person? And in the next scene, the entire 30-strong cast came on playing ukuleles. And everyone was like, they've all got one.
Oh.
So we obviously found it, but to be that guy.
So we do have a few stringed instruments, you can see.
Yeah.
So we've got, I think that's 7. 3 of those are ukulele-based instruments, and all 3 are mine.
Nice.
I have no adult instruments. I'm a baby with baby hands.
When you hold it, it does just look like a normal sized guitar. So
Jesus Christ, Caitlin. Jesus Christ.
There
This
it
is
is.
why I always play villains, because I snap. I'm like, you know what? Fuck the narrative.
Every recording that we have of like a show that you and I are in, I make a short joke. We could probably make a compilation at some point.
we probably, and what's even my favorite part of that is it never lands. Like no one goes, ha. They're always like stony silence because they're like, oh, cool. Thank you.
It's the last acceptable form of that kind of comedy as far as
Can't wait for the tides to turn. I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait.
I think it's because I spent so much of my childhood being incredibly short. And then at some point,
children are like, well, excuse me. When I was a child, I was 5'2".
I was actually a baby once, so I do know what it's like. So maybe
I know your pain.
No, I was when I was in year 7. When I went into secondary school, I was with people in my year, and then by the time we got to year 11, everyone still thinks of you as being short, but I had hit sort of average. But in my year 7 class photo, I wasn't wearing. They only wanted girls with tights on the front row for some reason.
That's creepy.
Well, for reasons, whatever, uniformity, I think, and I wasn't wearing tights. So I was in the second row, which meant that I was standing up. But every other girl that was standing on the second row was so much taller than me that it looked like they were standing on something. So I got put on 2 boxes so that I would be the same height as the second row. So I know how it feels, and now I'm out of there, Anna. I'm normal, and I just
Jesus Christ, Caitlin.
How tiny you are.
You know how you're like, Anna, this is gonna be fine. It's your first live stream. You're gonna be okay. And I'm here like, oh, good. Okay, Caitlin's got my back. And it's been like 15 minutes of ribbing. Okay. So this is when I got messaged and I was told, I think this is too dark for you to read out loud, but I want to read it because I think it's so, honestly, it legit made me gasp. So This is from Luke Mallison. I saw a show once in the basement of a disused restaurant in London, good start, which was basically just watching a date between 2 people. Then right at the end, one of the characters just said, "We had a child and it died," and then walked off, and it was the end of the play. Not sure which category it falls into, and almost certainly too dark for you to read out, but I had to tell someone. And I asked him, "Are you okay?" And Lucas responded saying, "I'm not sure." So take away that what you will.
I mean, that sounds like the Edinburgh Fringe. May it rest in peace.
Oh God, I remember the Fringe. It's so many shows which are just like bad, but you couldn't leave because there's only like 2 people in the audience, and you were like one of them. And the other one was their mum, who was like talking to you for some reason and letting you know that they're their son.
Yeah. I'll tell you a great musical theatre story from the Edinburgh Fringe.
Go on.
A few years ago, I went to see a production of Merrily We Roll Along, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Sondheims. Fight me. And it was, I think it was an amateur group. They were amazing. The vocal performances were amazing. And there was an understudy playing the main part, Frank, and he was so good. I didn't realize he's meant to be a writer, and he had a script on him. He was on book, but he wasn't really using it. He was doing so well that I didn't realize until halfway through that he was on book. Anyway, the play is about 3 best friends, and it goes backwards in time. So it starts with them all being divorced, having horrible lives, being separated from their, children, not talking anymore. Like, it's a very sad story about people growing apart and making bad choices that they can't take back and wishing that they'd done things differently. But it tells the story backwards. So it starts in the 70s with them living these like very separate, lonely lives, and then goes back through all the stages of their friendships and marriages until you see them meeting for the first time in the 1950s when they're seeing Sputnik go up on the top of on the roof of their building, and they talk about writing a musical together, and they all become friends for the first time. And it's so incredibly sad in the way that only Sondheim can really do. And on the day that I watched it, was their last performance, and so the last song is about like the optimism of being young and believing that the future belongs to you. And they were all singing this song, and then halfway through they went up into the audience, and they got this guy who was wearing like a sweatpants sort of thing, like a tracksuit, and he was obviously the guy who should have been playing Franklin, but he'd had to get his appendix out halfway through the Fringe.
No.
And so he was on stage, and they were all holding hands, and he was singing with them. He'd obviously like still recovering from surgery, and they were singing this song that goes, "It's our time coming through, me and you, pal, me and you," and they were all crying, and I was crying, and it was like
a big thing.
It was a whole thing.
I mean, speaking of crying, this next song.
Right.
So the next song is our penultimate song for this evening. Thanks so much everyone for watching. We'll obviously do a little bit more banter after this, but we're coming close to time now. I sound so flippant. Oh, banter. Anyway.
Don't worry, more banter to come, lads.
Don't worry, lads. Don't worry, lads. Anyway, we've got the phenomenal Sam McLaughlin who's doing a solo here. So give you guys a bit of a peek behind the curtain on this one. We had, so I wrote the lyrics for this song. We had Ian Towers compose the soundtrack for it. And then Sam, having not heard the soundtrack or seen the lyrics, did this in one take. So this is that song. Take it away.
Okay, so let me just take a moment to...
Let me know when you want me to hit the big red button.
Yeah. Yeah, go on, hit the big red button.
It's hit.
Okay.
She comes in every day with a knick-knack or egg Fabergé, and I assess with the old eyes of mine as she has forgotten what she's left behind. Each line tells a story, a crack fixed with gold, not decayed or decrepit, filled with stories of old. Am I still here when you leave? Do I exist when you go? Am I still here when you leave? Am I a face you don't know? Her eyes just like whiskey, sunset in candlelight. She notices my ring, smiles a little too bright. Oh, how can I tell her? But the dust remains. If I blow at these cobwebs, will this little world stay the same? Am I still here when you leave? Oh, do I exist when you go? Am I still here when you leave? Am I a face you don't know? So I buy her flowers and a scarf made of silk, rehearsing our memories and things of that ilk. She humors me and sits, listens to my timber and pat my hand twice, says I don't remember. Am I still here when you leave? Do I exist when you go? Am I still here when you leave? Do I become a face unknown? Am I still here when you leave? Do I exist when you go? Am I still here when you leave? Do I become a face unknown?
And that was Antique Shop by the phenomenal Sam McLaughlin and Ian Towers. I want to make it very clear that Ian also improvised the soundtrack for that. As he makes clear in the chat, he did also improvise. That was really passive aggressive. I said to Caitlin I was going to be super nice about it, and it's come out so mean.
say, she went, "Oh, make sure that Ian gets his credit as well." I was like, I mean, say it nicer than that. She went, "Oh, say it nicer than that." Didn't say it nicer than that.
You know what? Sometimes I make a good villain. No, so that song we were given the suggestion of Antique Shop. I set a time for 10 minutes, did that, sent it over to Ian, and then he did it with Sam. So really fun. About lost.
Imagine waking up every day and just having Sam McLaughlin's voice.
God.
I can't. I also just cut over you. You're about to say something about the lyrics, so please do. Sorry.
Oh no, it's just about lost love. It's all good.
Oh, cool. Say it. Go on, say it.
No. It's all good. It's all good. It's a lot sadder. It's a lot sadder than what I originally thought it was. So it's fine. So you know when someone, you know those old couples where they actually forget who each other are, even though they've been in love for like years and years.
Yeah.
That's what that was based on.
Oh.
So fun. Anyway, I promised banter, Caitlin. So I want this banter right now.
And I will deliver.
Thank you.
Anyway, on that wonderful note, we are coming up to our time. We do have time for one more song for you. But before we go, a couple of community notices. As always, we're going to ask you to donate to the Bristol Improv Theatre. We are closed at the moment, and so this is our way of reaching you and entertaining you. You can donate by clicking a link under the Twitch stream and donating maybe what you would pay the price of a ticket for example. That money is split between us, the artists, the Bristol Improv Theatre, and Wilby Films, who manage the live stream. If you are free tomorrow, then please tune in at 8 p.m. for Radio Cupid, where myself and the wonderful Imogen Palmer will be solving people's love problems in lockdown here on the Twitch channel. And if you are interested in taking some improv classes and trying improv yourself, we have a huge plethora of ways that you can learn with us. We've just started teaching improv classes in the park this weekend. I think this Sunday is sold out, but they're going to be sessions throughout the rest of summer on Sundays, which you can find out about on our website. We are also doing online drop-ins every Wednesday nights, which you can learn from your home in Zoom. And there is a one-off elective coming up next weekend called Words That Burn, which is taught by Imogen Palmer, and she will teach you about how to use improvised poetry and language in your improv. It's suitable for all levels, and it is a heap of fun. We will be back on the 4th of September for our next live stream. And if you would like one of your suggestions to be included in that, you can follow us on all social media, by which I mean Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if there are any others, I'm far too old for them. Follow us on those.
We're going to make a TikTok, guys. I'm bringing TikTok to this year musical.
I don't believe for a second, Anna, that you are young enough to have a TikTok.
Okay.
Are you? You?
So I'm not. So this is my sister, right? So she's told me, she's like, you're a millennial. I'm like, I think I'm on the cusp, but I must be a Gen Z because I don't, now being a millennial is embarrassing. I don't want to be a part of that. Am I allowed to
ask you how old you are?
Absolutely not. But I
reckon you're a millennial. Sorry.
Oh, God damn it. But who's Buffy the Vampire, right?
Shut up. You know who she is. And if you're going to pretend you don't know who she is, then keep her name out your mouth, okay?
So we're in a good place. This has been really fun.
This has been an experience.
This is, you know what? Something's happened here, and it's okay. And collectively, we can all forget it.
I love you. There. I said it.
Oh, this is awkward. Thanks, Caitlin. No, I appreciate it. I love you too.
Okay.
So we're going to go into our last song, yeah?
Yes, we are. So this was filmed during a wonderful outdoor, socially distanced This Is Your Musical session, and you will be able to hear that it's based on Pachelbel's Canon, which is one of our warm-ups. But it was filmed and recorded just to see what happened, and then the wonderful Catherine Herring put it into a beautiful compilation.
Yeah, so we were basically trying to find out if we can socially distance and rehearse together and actually see each other. So we did adhere to social distancing rules, made sure we were very clear of each other and being safe. And this was a warm-up song we were doing. So enjoy.
This is our last song. Enjoy, and we will see you next month or on the Twitch stream before then. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.
Baby, when you get there.